Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Double Feature Versus. I'm that guy, Anthony.
I'm that guy, Brad.
And today we are discussing two anime films that have to do with men that really don't deserve the beautiful, kind-hearted women that are in their lives.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to put it for these two.
I mean, they don't deserve these women.
No,
they don't.
not at all, in the slightest. Especially in the case of the second movie that we have on the list.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say today we're doing a silent voice versus I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Yes. So this was a podcast that I suggested to Anthony because I wanted to see his opinion on these two movies. Especially these two movies, because last time we did one of these anime episodes, it was on centimeters per second or 5 centimeters per second and Your Name, which you loved one of them and absolutely despised the other. And I'm curious to know if it's going to be close to the same on this one, because these are two heavily beloved anime movies.
Yeah, Your Name got the thumbs up, 5 centimeters per second. I don't know what it was that night. I mean, I watched it and I just said, I don't see it. It's a beautiful movie, beautiful looking movie, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
See, I'm almost curious if you'll watch it again sometime, like in the future. I doubt you would, but if you were to, if you would go, okay, I get it this time.
If I got absolutely nothing to do, no comics to read, no shows to watch, no movies to watch, I'll do that. But that'll
like
probably
your
be
DVD
never.
of the Southland Tales is too scratched up and it won't read anymore, and you're just like, I guess I'll just watch 5 centimeters per second again.
I don't even own that on DVD, but I probably should. But I mean, if I just got nothing to do, I might watch it again. But I don't know when that will be.
Okay, but we can jump right into a silent voice on this one. Do you want to take this one, or do you want me to take this?
I'll pass the alley-oop to you, because usually we don't do chronological order, but I think on this one it might be necessary.
Oh, I definitely want to start on a silent voice, so that's where we're starting today.
Hey man, you're enthusiastic. I'll let you take the lead.
Oh, I am. So, a silent voice follows the school adventure. Well, let's start from the beginning. The movie starts us off introducing us to Shoya Ishida, who is about teenage boy. He's going through high school, and we're introduced to him as he is quitting his job. He's pulling all his money out of the bank. He sold his entire CD and comic book collection.
Mm-hmm.
He puts it all in an envelope and he leaves it on his mother's pillow before we see him walking off, or starting to kind of climb off the edge of a bridge, which gives us a flashback to when he was in elementary school with his friends from there, and a new girl, Shoko Nishima, it joins them. With her being deaf, she kind of is seen as a little bit of an outcast from the school a little bit, and as a result, Shoya and his friends pick on her. Eventually, it comes to the school's attention that she's being bullied, and all the blame is put on Shoya.
Well, hold on. I don't know if you said this, but did you make a note that him going to that bridge is kind of like the flash forward of his life? And
yes, so this
then goes back.
Yeah, it's a flashback to his elementary school, and this is where Shoko and everything is introduced.
It becomes a flashback when Shoko comes about, but it's a flash forward when he's selling everything and walks to that bridge. Then it goes back in time.
Yeah, this is like a present time is when the bridge scene is, and then it does a flashback to when he was in elementary school.
Just to clarify for everybody.
Yep. So this is him as a kid. So this is him as 8-9 years old or so, when Shoko Nishima comes into the picture, and his friends kind of pick on her a little bit. He picks on her and everything like that, and it gets a little bit extreme with ripping out her hearing aids that she has, generally teasing her because she can't hear anything. She writes everything in a notebook and everything. There's a couple other kids that kind of bully her. Yono Nakato is one of them
I
that
hated her, dog.
yeah, she was like a friend of Shoya before this happened. Her and I'm trying to remember who the other kid was that was always there. Hirose Keisuke.
No, the one that was bullying her was Naoka Ueno.
Yes.
Which one did you say?
The kid that always had kind of the blonde hair. So he was always in on it too, along with Shoya and Yano.
Okay.
And after everything gets pinned on Shoya for the bullying, nobody else takes any responsibility for it, kind of going, yeah, I saw him doing it. And I tried to tell him to stop, but he just kept going further. He ended up becoming an outcast and gets bullied and everything to the point that he can't even look people in the eyes anymore. He's basically becomes a huge outcast, and it follows him through middle school and high school to the point that he has no friends. He's had nobody that can rely on at all ever since this occurred. And it needs to be noted that Shoko, due to the bullying, Shoko, the deaf girl, had to leave and go to another school and everything in order to try and like get away from it. Mm-hmm. So that's when this all kind of got him like shunned from his school. And then we get a flash forward back to showing that he found one of the notebooks from when he was bullying her that he like threw into a pond and decided to bring it back to her as kind of a final thing of her like apologizing to her. Which then sparks like him realizing like he's been learning sign language this whole time and stuff to be able to like communicate with people like that, like trying to be a better person. You know, nobody gives him a chance, but he's trying to be a good person and everything like that. And it's when he realizes like one of the hand gestures that she's been making when they were kids was let's be friends. So she says that to him upon getting the notebook after, of course, being frightened by the fact that he reappeared, you know, her childhood bully.
Right. All right, let's stop there for a second. Because okay. I don't want you to narrate the whole movie. But
this one is you really have to narrate the beginning of it because that's where everything is put in place that takes you know, there's a whole lot in that first 20 minutes that changes the entire rest of the movie.
Yeah, this one of the things I love about this movie. It didn't catch me when I first watched it, but on second glance, when I kind of like re-reviewed the movie in my head, I said, "Man, this is a powerfully layered coming of age film."
Oh yeah,
like you know the way it deals with bullying, the theme of forgiveness, and then suicide, and just being a teenager and just dealing with all these conflicting emotions and dealing with traumatizing things. Like, this is a powerful movie, dog. And then you put romance on top of it too.
Yeah. So there's a lot because following his attempted suicide, he decides not to go through with it. He ends up befriending Shoko. In the process, he begins befriending a new kind of character in his high school, Nagasuka, who is kind of another like loner kid that Shoya just starts talking to. He saves him from bullying, actually. He is being bullied and Shoya kind of saves him, and then they kind of begin a kinship from that. So
you're saying their last names. That's what you're doing. Oh, okay. I was getting confused. Yeah, I think Nagasuka is his last name.
Oh yeah, Tomohiro. Tomo. Yeah. My bad. Tomohiro becomes one of those new friends that doesn't know anything about Shoya's past. He just kind of knows him as this guy that is in one of his classes. So it's a great story about basically one of the strange things with this one is we follow who would normally be the antagonist of the movie as the protagonist, because we follow this kid that was a bully and everything like that.
Right.
We don't follow the hero in this story by any means. He's a flawed person. He was a kid. He did what kids do. They pick on people that they don't understand, that are different.
initially you don't like him.
Right.
But the film pulls off a trick where it shows you, okay, you saw this guy at his worst. Now let's see him at his best.
Right. He goes to pay back his mom and everything like that. I love that scene where she like confronts him and goes, "Well, thank you for paying me back and everything like that, but what made you change your mind on killing yourself?" And he's like, "Oh, I just thought that maybe there was something else in life." And she flips out. She like realizes she conned him in, saying that he was going to commit suicide.
Right, right.
So it's a very powerful moment itself. And it's one of the first like emotional kind of scenes in this movie, because this one tugs at your emotions throughout the entire movie.
You see what I like about this film in contrast to 5 centimeters per second, is that 5 centimeters per second soared off of subtlety. And
Yes.
that works for some people. And maybe if it was the right kind of day, I'd be a bit more lenient with my score. But this movie, there's subtlety in this, but it's mostly drowned out by, like intense emotion.
Yes, very much so. And it's
Yeah.
intense emotion that you can relate to. Even if you don't know the circumstance entirely, you can relate to exactly what these people are feeling. A mother finding out that her son was going to commit suicide, a childhood bully coming back into your life, and turning out to be trying to be nice to you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's all relatable stuff. Even finding like previous classmates and everything like that, and finding out they're still terrible people, like Naoko Yamada. She is still an absolutely terrible person, because she comes in about halfway through the movie again, and she immediately wants to start bullying Shoko again and being like, "Shoyo, we got to take your hearing aids just like old times. Come on. Oh, you got lame. Why don't you want to do this anymore?" She's just terrible. Yeah. So you get to see like the bullies that changed, like Shoya, and then the ones that absolutely did not.
Yeah, it's a film about redemption, man. And I love how, as an adult or as a young adult, he has X's over everyone's faces, because he's isolated himself so much since what happened that he feels like he's not deserving of friendship with anyone. He feels like he's not deserving of any kind of human contact with anyone. And I like how, through the same person that he bullied and kind of met his dark fate is the same person through which he receives redemption.
Yes. Yeah, I love how he even says that he can't look people in the eyes anymore. He always has to look down. And there's a scene when he's like walking with Shoko, and she basically just says, "Well, I'll stand by you and look down with you." It's he finally has that friend that's right there and willing to go along this path with him. Like they know that he's been through a lot, and they want to make sure that he has somebody there. It's a part, like, I know this is skipping forward, but it's a big moment too when he finally is able to like look up, and like all the X's start falling off of everybody's faces, like as he's reigniting with different people.
I like how things go in cycles in this film. In the beginning, he's the one contemplating suicide, and then later on, the young lady Shoko, because she feels like she's indirectly ruined Shoya's life, she starts to contemplate suicide. Like I like the cycles of how things go in this film, and especially a connection between them.
Right. Yeah, because she starts to believe that all of Shoya's problems
are because of her.
Are because of her. Mostly because of Naoko Yamada telling her this on a Ferris wheel.
Right.
Oh,
which is a horrible scene. Yeah, go ahead.
It's terrible. But one of the characters that we didn't even mention yet was Yuzuru, Shoko's sister. I absolutely love her character.
Yeah. She was pretty good too.
Yeah, she is kind of like the mini spy in the movie with her camera and everything like that, because she gets the footage from what happened in the Ferris wheel. She gets pictures. She initially gets Shoya expelled from his school by taking a picture of him jumping into the river, which is forbidden at the school.
Right. Yeah.
And immediately, as soon as like Shoya like finds out it was her, he's basically like, oh, thank God. I was worried about who that might have actually been. I'm glad it was actually you. You know, like he has no hatred for her whatsoever. And that really starts pushing his character as he's forgiving of people. You know, he doesn't put blame. He realizes that she hates him because of what he did to her sister in the past.
Right. And he becomes a protector of the two sisters. Even if the younger one doesn't like him.
Yeah. So there's a lot of heart in this movie.
Yeah, there's some powerful I think what I learned in English is that there's dynamic characters versus round characters. But I love the character development with Shoya. That's his name, right?
Yeah, Shoya was his name, the protagonist.
See, at first glance, you would think Shoya belongs to her and Shoko is his name. Because there's the O and the A, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, man, I really thought this was a great animated film. I went into this not knowing what much to expect. I knew it had to do with bullying and stuff like that, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. But I enjoyed this, man. I give it a strong 4.
This one's like a 4.5 for me. I love this one.
I was leaning towards that.
Yeah, it's got some really powerful moments in it. When she goes to commit suicide and Shoya catches her and ends up falling himself while trying to, you know, help her and save her and everything. That's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
You have when he's being confronted about like his past and everything like that, like something he wants to try and forget and move beyond. And it comes up and he doesn't know how to like approach it and everything while everybody's coming back and going, you did this. This was you. And he's like, it's not me anymore. I don't want to be this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely love this movie. For anybody that hasn't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a beautiful movie.
If you ever find yourself at a crossroads where you got between this and 5 centimeters, steer to the left. Just steer to the left. That's all you need to do.
For sure on this one. Absolutely. I want to say that there was one other scene that I really wanted to talk about, but I'm drawing a blank. When it comes to Nishima, the mother of the Nishima family, where she absolutely has complete disdain for Shoya for what he's done and everything like that, refuses to accept him until the very end. That was another great one. I absolutely loved her character because she's one of the characters that hates the protagonist with a passion, but you don't, you understand it. Absolutely. It's not like, oh yeah, she's being a bitch,
Yeah, he psychologically hurt her baby. You understand that.
And now he's just reappearing, 10 years down the line or close to that. And yeah, so it makes sense. And her character was pretty well done. A lot of the characters were very well rounded here, and I liked it.
They are. Ready to move on?
I think we're ready to move on to the movie with one of the most interesting names ever. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
You know what, man? I honestly thought before, I didn't read anything up on this because you told me not to. I thought this was going to be a romantic horror film. Like I said, like, man, I wonder what this is going to be like. So I went in with an open mind. Man, I just got to say off the top, man, beautiful film, dog. Just all around beautiful movie.
I was going to say, if you were going in thinking that this was going to be a romantic horror movie, you were probably coming out going, that wasn't horror at all.
Well, when you hear a title like I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, you're thinking something about zombies or, something, a cross between zombie or vampire, like something's going to happen. But let me just give the quick little synopsis and then we can dig into the meat and potatoes. So Haruki Shiga, he's a very Haruki, my bad. He's a very introverted man. He doesn't have any friends. He's very lonely. His only fun is reading books and digging his mind into reality that's not his own. He loves books, but he's kind of a boring, like lonely kid. And he comes across a very extroverted woman named Sakura Yamauchi
Yamuchi.
Yamuchi. Um, Obviously they're opposites, and obviously opposites in some ways attract. But anyway, as she kind of like prods him and tries to pull personality out of him, trying to pull something out of him to get to know him, she admits to him like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I have this fatal pancreatic illness, and I'm gonna die soon." Now, Haruki, being a person that's like not really used to being vulnerable in front of anyone, kind of goes, "Oh, okay." And this intrigues her, like, "Oh, you're not saddened for me? You don't feel sorry for me?" He's like, "I mean, I'm
Yeah, he's almost completely emotionless to the news of like somebody in front of him went, "Yeah, I'm going to die soon."
right." He's just like, "Oh, okay. Thanks for giving me the information." And this intrigues her even more to become friends with him and get to know him a little better, because he's the one person that's like, and again, outside of him and her mama, no one else knows, not even her best friends. He's the one person that's like not all feeling sad for her and like, "Oh my goodness, oh my, I'm so sorry." He's kind of like, "All right then, let me stare back off into the distance."
Yeah, I want to
And
go back to my book.
right, and this intrigues her to get even more closer to him. Long story short, they start to hang out a little bit more. She starts to work with him at the library, and you start to see her bring some personality out of him. He starts to enjoy her company, and he's actually starting to like wake up and kind of take his eyes out of the books and notice the world around him. Yeah, man, I just love the beautiful opposite dynamic between these two characters, dog. Because like you can't help but fall in love with Sakura, a girl that knows she's gonna die soon, but is just living every day like it's the last. Even in the simplest things, like he says, like, "You want to come work with me at the library? Shouldn't you be off traveling the world or something if you're about to die soon?" She says, "Well, I'm doing something I want to do now, so
Mhm.
aren't I kind of treating my day like it's my last? I'm hanging out with you. I want to do that." She just has a just great outlook on the world, and you just love her so much. And like I said, nothing against Haruki, but I said, listen, these two films are about guys that don't deserve the beautiful, wonderful women in their life.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he literally landed the jackpot with having Sakura even want to be around him because their personalities clash so much, like on paper and everything. Because she
right.
is such that bubbly personality. Even going back to the one scene you were mentioning when he goes, "Well, don't you want to be doing something fun, like going to another country or something like that?" And she goes, "Well, don't you? You know,
Right.
don't you also have like things you want to do before you die? What if you die tomorrow? We're all gonna die eventually. If you don't treat every moment like it's your last, you're going to always be missing out."
I just love how she kind of checks him in her bubbly way, where she kind of has. I love one moment that made me laugh, where she stands up, she goes, "Look, man, talk to people.
Mhm.
When someone offers you gum, take it. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm giving you an assignment now to talk to people." There's this one guy that's always trying to offer him gum, and he's like, "Nah, man, I'm good." Um, but I like how she tries to she spends it as her mission to like hang out with this boy that obviously she loves him, but she wants to get to know him and bring life out of him to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love how she's almost at the end of her life and she's trying to get his life to begin.
Right. Because he is very introvert. Like he doesn't talk to any of the kids at the school and everything like that. And she
Hmm.
notices this. She even makes a note that he is the one person that what's her line? She thinks that living is to have interactions with other people and to form your personality and your person off of the people around you and everything. And the fact that he is who he is without having anybody around him to base his personality off of, like his friends and family and everything like that, it makes him a more interesting person to her because he is purely him. There is nobody forming who he is.
Right. And I love the emotional fake out this film has, because it starts off with the flash forward with the funeral, and you imagine as you get to know this girl, like, okay, the illness finally got her. And, he says he didn't go to the funeral.
Mhm.
And we start to learn the I want to eat your pancreas line and why they say that and stuff like that. So I go, okay, it's going to get close to that point. But then, dude, the film just stabs you in the heart out of nowhere. First
Oh
off,
yeah.
how did she get stabbed? Like, I didn't understand. Like, how did that happen? Was she mugged? Like,
It
that was
just
so.
was they mentioned it earlier in the movie on, so this is one of those things that you kind of notice when you watch it again, is they mention it on the news that his mom is watching and everything like that, that there's somebody on the loose that has killed a person. And then I think they mention it a second time in the movie, and then she ends up being his third victim before he's caught.
Oh, he's a serial killer.
Yes. So he was
Oh,
just killing people, and she just happened to be wrong place, wrong time.
okay. Yeah, I guess I would notice that on the second viewing because I was just like, said, man, she got stabbed, no car crash or nothing. Like that seemed a little random to me, but I guess I missed the details.
Yeah, it's
Um,
one of those very like hidden kind of things within it. This one's based on a novel, and I have to believe that that's kind of a little bit more present in the novel than the the movie. This one
mhm.
actually had a live action movie too. I didn't even know that.
That one's called "Let Me Eat Your Pancreas."
Oh, okay.
When I was searching this film, that film came up, and I said, "Nah, this is animation. That can't be the right one."
Yeah. That one might actually be a horror movie.
Right. Yeah, man, that just sunk me because you're expecting her to pass naturally through her illness, but he's like being stabbed, you know,
Well,
and
you
I
have the gut punch moment because prior to this, she was in the hospital and everything like that.
right,
And, she's saying that her numbers were a little bit weird. She's there for a couple weeks, but don't worry, she's going to get out. And it's the day that she gets out of the hospital and they're going to meet at the coffee shop, and it's about like noon when he texts her the final text that he sent that we saw at the very beginning of the movie, which is, I want to eat your pancreas. And we see him
mhm,
send that, and it's like, oh no, this is when it happens. She's not going to end up leaving the hospital. It's going to be something, you know and it toys with you for a little bit because you just see from his perspective for the next 8 hours until the shop closes, where he is waiting for her and he's
right,
not getting any response from her or anything like that. He's gets home, and that's when he hears on the news that she had been stabbed to death.
yeah,
So he immediately breaks down, of course, and everything like that. And eventually he misses the funeral because he can't go. And I love that she actually told his mom, or she told her mom, the entire time she's been writing a book called Living with Death or Living with Dying. I'm trying to remember what the name of the
um,
book was.
living with dying sounds about right. We'll just go with that for now. But I
Yeah.
do vaguely remember the title.
But she is writing this book, and it's basically a daily, well, not daily, but somewhat daily diary of what she's been going through and everything, like how her days are going, everything like that, that she started writing when she found out that she had the pancreatic disease that was going to end her life. So at the end, she decides that she wants to give this to Haruki in order for him to have a little piece of her to remember at the
Right,
end.
right, exactly. I like how there's another important character in this story, and that's Sakura's friend
Kyoko?
Kyoko. Now, in the beginning, I thought Kyoko was a little annoying. She seemed a little. She's a very intense, violent girl. She's very intensely overprotective of
She's very
Sakura.
possessive of Sakura.
Sakura, yeah, that's it. She's very possessive over her, and when you understand why she's possessive over her, Sakura is just a very she's I'm not gonna say delicate. She's a strong girl. We get that when she beats up the guy that tries to threaten the
Oh, the old lady in the
yeah,
alleyway? Yeah.
right. But she's such a pure, beautiful soul. I can understand how someone like uh uh Kyoko doesn't want anyone disturbing that, especially someone like Haruki who is labeled as kind of like the weird kid in class that doesn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, like she even says like, oh, you're better than him. You know, you deserve better than him. But I like that moment in the end where he tries to talk to her, and it's like, listen, she wrote this diary and it talks about what she's dealing with. And I feel like you should read this. You know, after she smacks him and she kind of like runs away, the film ends on such a weird note. But I understand it for his character, where he says like the moment he decides to take her advice and start to become friends with people. This is after he finally takes the gum from the guy. You know, he says,
yeah, that was the day that he was on his way to the cafe to meet her.
right.
He finally takes gum from the one classmate of his that was constantly offering him gum.
Right. I like how it just ends bluntly on a point where he's like, look, I think we should be friends, because that's such a big step for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't have any friends. He's really an introverted. I think insular is the right word for him. So he finally reaches out, and then it ends. But I gotta say, the one scene that kind of broke me, and for
I'm gonna pause you. Did you see the end credit scene?
no, I missed another one. I missed another one.
So I'm gonna just give you a note by note on what the end credit scene is. The end credit scene is him and Kyoko at her headstone, kind of a year later, to give their respects to Sakura, and he mentions, you know, so are we gonna hang out later, you know? And she throws him a piece of gum and kind of goes, oh, so you guys are going steady now. And she goes, yeah, kinda, implying that she's now dating the guy that's been trying to give him gum the entire movie.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
So it go back and watch it. It's only like a 2-minute clip, but it's a cute moment for the end of the movie.
That sounds cute. All right, that sounds cute. The one scene that did throw me though, that made me like, for an animation film, it made me a little emotional, is when he's talking with Sakura's mom, and her mom is like, oh, you're the guy that she wrote the book to read.
Yeah.
And then I love how, as he's reading some of the novel, he just kind of breaks down and like literally just starts like sobbing like a baby, saying, I don't know what to do. Like this woman shook up my whole life. I don't know what to do now that she's gone. Yeah, man, that's a powerful moment.
Oh, absolutely. Like at first he like even apologizes to her mother, like, I'm so sorry. I can't hold this right now, you know, reading this book and everything. Because there's a whole like page left, especially for him. And one of the big things was he had a hobby where people would say his name and stuff like that, and he'd judge what they perceive of him based on how they said his name and kind of what kind of person they thought him to be. Like he would hear when people would call somebody else's name and be able to tell, oh, they're friends, you know, that person feels this toward them, it's disdain, whatever. So she makes a note to never say his name so that he can never gather what kind of person she sees him as, because she doesn't want him to think that he's seen as the same person to other people or anything. So she never even writes his name in the book, because he requests that, you know, don't write down my name. So that's another thing with the mother not even knowing who he was, because his name wasn't written anywhere in the book.
That's interesting. So, that's an interesting subtle note there.
Yeah. So even in that last page and everything, that one's a teary moment, reading that last page. First off, beautifully animated scene of kind of her in this watercolor kind of look.
Yeah, and the imagination of it.
Yeah. And Yeah, absolutely beautiful. This is another movie that kind of tugs at your heartstrings very subtly at moments and very roughly at others.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, out of all the films we've watched so far, this, Your Name, Silent Voice, this one really hit me the hardest.
Oh yeah.
And I love the subtleties at their two clashing personalities, even from the start, where they're working in a library and she's putting books on the shelf. He's like, "What are you doing?" He says, I'm putting the books where they belong." He says, and I think he said like, "Those are history books. Those are
Or no, that's historical fiction. This is the history section.
No, he doesn't even say fiction. He says
Oh,
those are he says these are history books. Those are historical novels. And she goes,
oh,
same thing. You know, because it kind of is the same thing, but historical means novels that are, I don't know, but it is kind of the same thing. Did your subtitles say that, or
I thought mine said fiction, but I might be misremembering.
Well, maybe. But yeah, dude, I just love the subtleties throughout this movie, man. This is a very well done movie. Uh, I'm trying to think if there's one more thing I wanted to mention. No, I think
Oh, when they snuck out of the hospital to go see the fireworks, because it was one of the things on her list. Like, we can only do this today. You know, we have to go do this today. That was a great moment.
yeah, that was a great moment too. But the hotel scene, I gotta say,
With the truth or dare and everything.
yeah, my first time watching this, I was like, okay, where is this going? I was like, are they gonna go all the way, or they just messing around, or where is this gonna go? But I think where it ended is a good place for it. The end, where he carries her to the bed and they sleep together but not sleep together in the same bed, and then the trip ends. But kind of thought that hotel sequence was a little, I don't know, I kind of thought it was pointless a little bit.
It was kind of like to show that he didn't have interest in her in that way and everything like that, and she didn't really have interest in him in that way either. That she didn't see it as a threat to be like there alone in the room with drinking together as a threat at all. She wanted to get to know him, and this was a way to like take him out of his zone, put him in a situation where he would have to come out of his shell a little bit.
Right. She's taking him shopping and everything.
Yeah.
Making him try on new clothes.
Oh yeah. I love that when they get to the what was it, the train station or the bus station, and she's like, "That's all you brought?" No matter. There's probably a Uniqlo and a shopping center over there that we can go to.
Right.
And he's
right.
like, "What?"
Right. I gotta say, I mean, even with that scene intact, this is I feel comfortable in giving this a 5, man. This is just a
Really?
perfect movie to me.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a perfect anime romance to me.
This one very high up there, but this one's a 4.5 to me. This one's
okay.
Yeah, it's not quite a 5, but it's really close. I absolutely love this movie. I remember you actually texted me saying that you were watching this movie and you fell asleep. My first thought was, oh God, we're gonna have another one where Anthony absolutely hates one of these movies.
It wasn't the movie. I just had a lot going on. I was intrigued.
Yeah, because that kind of scared me for a minute when I saw that. I was like, oh God, he's gonna come on and be like, what the hell was this movie? And I'm gonna be like, no, but it's heartfelt and I liked it.
No, man, that day was just chaotic. It was just a chaotic day. But okay. So so which one wins out to you? Because you gave both films 4.5.
To me, I had to say A Silent Voice wins out. I really love that story and the characters within it. Because there's a lot more meat to that story with the different characters and everything like that. I've seen A Silent Voice a couple times. I've read the manga that it was based off of, and
you're a
I love
fan.
that one. Yeah. So I really love that one. I remember when people were talking about this one when Your Name came out, and I picked up the manga during that time. And then when it came to theaters, I saw it and everything like that. So this was one that I really got behind and everything like that, mostly because of Your Name. So,
Okay. All right.
but I
enough.
Want to Eat Your Pancreas was one that it caught my attention mostly because of the name and because it was getting a lot of praise when it first came out. But I didn't see this one until it came out on like home video.
Okay. All right, folks. There you have it. I got Pancreas. Brad has a silent voice. So let's get
It's
to
a weird way of putting it. I have a
Hey.
pancreas, you have a silent voice.
It fits. I told you it was a nice matchup.
It's a perfect matchup.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes. You excited for Strange?
I am very excited for Strange. Because it's this week. I keep forgetting that it's coming up and everything like that. We're in that weird area still for me where like movies just kind of appear and I go, oh yeah, that's coming out.
You know, I had the reverse effect done for me because I had thought the Black Phone, that horror film with Ethan Hawke, when I started seeing previews for that again, I'm like, did that film already come out?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And then I was reminded that it got delayed. But I'm like, I thought Black Phone already came out. So you know, I kind of forgot that movie hadn't come out yet. Yeah, man, I got my tickets all set for Saturday at 2. The wifey and I are gonna go. I know she's excited for Jurassic Park Dominion. I still gotta watch the other Chris Pratt ones.
Oh yeah, those ones. The first one is good. The second one is interesting.
I hear mixed reviews. I hear like it's entertaining to say the least. But you know, I'm just so hooked on the OG Jurassic Park 1 through 3. A lot of people don't like 3, but I like 3.
See, that's one of the things is I remember watching 3 as a kid and I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. But as the same time, you're a kid watching it and going,
yeah,
dinosaurs. I love this.
I was a kid. But then again, I was a kid that liked William H. Macy. You know, I liked Sam Neill came back. I liked The Lost World because of the VHS cover that changed as you turned
lenticular.
it. You know, and then Jeff Goldblum's in it. Now I know I like Jurassic Park 1. That's a classic.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I liked 1 through 3, but I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch everything in preparation for this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because it's kind of shaking it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems interesting. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it yet.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen vaguely what's at stake.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's dinosaurs and everybody keeps commenting, oh, if dinosaurs escape, that would be taken care of immediately. It's like, yeah, but that's a boring movie. Shut up. Let there be dinosaurs everywhere, man. Come on.
Right. Just shoot missiles at Godzilla and Kong. The movie's over. Like, come on, man. This is fantasy. This is not real life.
No, I want to see the monkey fight the lizard, man. Come on, let me have my movie.
Fight the lizard man or fight the lizard, man.
Fight the lizard, man.
Oh man, that would have been funny if you said fight the lizard, man. Man, that movie was too good. That movie was too good for its own good. I like Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong. I can't wait for the sequel. Oh, did you hear? We kind of knew it was going to happen. Batman 2 on the way.
Yeah, they apparently have penned a script more or less for a second and third to do a trilogy out of Robert Pattinson's Batman. And they finally confirmed the second one is going into production. I don't think they said anything on like confirming the third, but I know that he's mentioned that there is a script for a third movie.
I'm down for it, man. That dynamic between Matt Reeves and Pattinson, and that view of Gotham,
it's working.
It's working. You can't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, I'm fully excited to see where they go with it. Apparently, they already have somebody in mind for a Harley Quinn to go along with Joker in that movie.
They resetting everybody.
It's a completely different universe. It's not really a reset. Think of this as like another Dark Knight trilogy. It has nothing to do with the other DC movies.
Yeah, but that gets confusing.
I know. I absolutely, I love it and hate it at the same time. It's one of those things where it's like, that's nice. It means that they can do their own thing and they don't have to worry about what's going on in other movies. And then the other side of me is like, yeah, but that means that there's nothing that's going to connect this to the other movies. And that's one of the things I like about the Marvel stuff is you can see the references to the other things going on.
I'll say this, man. Marvel is a long series with 2 to 3 hour episodes.
Oh yeah, it's literally just a TV series that releases 3 episodes a year in theaters.
Pretty much. And that works for them. I like that DC is a little messy, but I want to see a little bit more continuity with DC.
I'm really curious where what they're going to do with it after they have the Flashpoint movie, because I think that's when they can really start nailing down what they're doing, and they're going to use that as their reset button. Because that's what Flashpoint was in the comics. It was their reset button of things are getting a little bit too convoluted. We need to reset this, and Flashpoint is what led into New 52.
Yeah, it's on my list to read. That leads me to my next question, man. Ezra Miller, you think he's messing some things up here?
I'm curious why he's trying to fight the entire state of Hawaii while he's there.
Man. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Do you think they're messing things up here? I'm sorry. I got to use the right pronoun.
Is he? I didn't even know that.
I think they are they now.
Is he they them?
I think that's what it is. Yep, they go by they now.
Okay, they go by they them. So yeah, they are definitely messing up. This is like one of those like court cases of you're using the wrong pronouns. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, they killed a person.
Yeah, listen. I'm trying to say it as normal as I can,
as respectfully as possible. Yeah,
it's a process. It's a process. I understand. We live in new times. But yeah, man, they just keep messing up, man. I look at the articles every day, and I'm just like, what's this person's problem, man?
I mean, DC is really having a hard time these last couple of weeks with everything going on with Amber Heard and Ezra Miller.
Oh man. Well, see, you can sacrifice her. We don't. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's not a loss at all.
Yeah, you can.
But Ezra Miller is basically was going to be the face of the upcoming like DC everything with Flashpoint.
You got a charming, talented actor in the lead. What can go wrong except when that actor is acting up? Pun intended. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like, listen, when you see this guy's impressive career from We Need to Talk About Kevin, Perks of a Wallflower, up to now, you're like, man, he was destined to do this role, man. He was destined to be a Flash, like Tom Holland was destined to be Spider-Man. But Tom Holland isn't a screw up. Tom Holland isn't harassing and assaulting couples and messing up karaoke night.
Yeah.
How you gonna mess up karaoke night?
Yeah. No, Tom Holland is going to karaoke night and making the party somehow even better than it was.
Right.
Yeah. If there's anything, I get where some people are like, oh, I don't care for Tom Holland's Spider-Man and I don't care for Tom Holland in Uncharted and stuff like that. But at the same time, you got to look at Tom Holland and go, this guy is just having the time of his life everywhere he goes. You got to respect that at the very least. He's
having the time of his life. Andrew Garfield is having the time of his life. These people are normal people that just act, dude.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I want to know what kind of issues Ezra is going through. That's what I want to know. Like, well, no, maybe I don't need to know because it's his business. But man, I'm surprised DC hasn't made the decision to axe him because I guess they got a lot of money riding on this film. Keaton's coming back.
They have a lot riding on Flashpoint because that is like the movie that's going to jumpstart the rest of their DC kind of lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So they need this movie to come out. They can't stop it now. This would be like having Robert Downey Jr. like throw a chair at somebody at a wedding, and they have to like just a couple months before Endgame and going, we can't stop Endgame. It's you can't sit down, shut up, and sit in a room for the couple months. Please don't touch anything. Listen, can't stop Endgame now.
Letitia Wright having taking her stance on being anti-vax, which is her personal stance. But Disney, who was pro-vax, they're like, look, Chadwick is dead. We got to make this movie. See Shuri, just sit over there, just be quiet, and let's just make the movie.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she started creating a ruckus on set and was making everybody's lives miserable.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah. That's one of the ones where when several people that work on the set of a movie go, yeah, I hate that person now. It allegedly becomes, yeah, it's technically hearsay, but at the same time, I'm hearing a lot of hearsay from different people saying the same thing now.
I want to see justification for Ray Fisher. I understand they might not want him as Cyborg anymore because he made waves with telling his truth, and they're trying to protect Whedon and whatever. But I kind of want to see him get a different superhero role with, I don't know if it has to be Marvel or Dark Horse Films or whatever, but I want to see him because he's a great Cyborg.
I absolutely agree.
Unfortunately, Cyborg got sacrificed because of hubris on their end, not his. So I really do want to see him come up in another superhero role.
Yeah, they really bet on the wrong actor when they were going forward with the DC universe here. They were like, no, Ray, you sit to the side. We can't have you causing controversy.
Yeah.
We got Ezra on our back here. And now they're looking going, we put our money on the wrong guy, man.
We should have kept Ray.
Yeah.
Just we shouldn't have made him
betting on the wrong horse this whole time, man. I'm telling you.
We shouldn't have made him say booyah. We should have just left it alone. We should have just left it alone. Oh man.
Which is a bad thing because my inner child of watching Teen Titans when he
you want to hear him
I was
say
like,
booyah,
oh my God, this is great. But at the same time, it's like I understand where he's coming from.
It made no sense.
Glad we got it
with whatever was going on in the scene. It was just, dude, just say booyah. Just say it.
Just say the line, Bart.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know what's gonna happen to Ezra after this. Because there is, like you said, there's a lot of money riding on this. You got Ben Affleck, you got Michael Keaton. This is if you're a comic book fan, this is an anticipated movie. Like this is how bad superhero fans are. We hear like the horrible things Ezra allegedly did, and we're like, yeah, that's horrible, but I need this Flashpoint movie.
Yeah. But when is Flashpoint coming out? Are we talking like a couple months delay, a year delay? I need to know. Right. I need to pen this in my schedule.
We can punish him later, but we need that movie.
Yeah. He threw what at a person? That's terrible. Anyway, so we're still looking at a June release, right?
Oh man, Bob Odenkirk's in the hospital, but they're still coming out with the final season of Better Call Saul, right? That's still being made, right?
Yeah. I remember when that news came out, and I think I read that and I just went completely pale, and I was like, no, of all the people, please no. Don't let this be the next actor that goes. We need Bob Odenkirk still. He is a great comedian. We need him. And David Cross still need to make a sequel to what's that show that they had before?
Oh, they already made the sequel. It was on Netflix, the Mr. Show.
Yeah.
But they came back with a show called With Bob and David. I didn't check it out, but yeah, they already made a sequel.
Check it out.
Yeah. My thing was of course I was like, oh man, I hope he's okay. But there's always that one guy in the comments like, man, that sucks. I hope the show survives. And everybody
I hope this doesn't cause too much of a delay on the show.
It's like, dude, what about him? He's like, oh yeah, him too.
Yeah, I hope he's good and everything. But like AMC did say 2022. Are we still looking at 2022?
Let me ask you something, man, before we get out of here. Did you hear about the big cancellation spree that CW went on?
I heard that they got, so from my understanding, The Flash is the only one that hasn't been canceled at this point.
I mean, they went on a ride, man. They went on Catwoman, Legends of Tomorrow. Is Superman and Lois still okay?
That one's an HBO Max show. So I think that
is it really?
one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it has episodes that play on the CW, and it technically takes place in the CW universe, but that one's an HBO Max show. So I think that one's safe for now, until HBO Max, decides that that's too good of a show and they have to cancel it with all the other good shows like Venture Brothers.
Man, yeah, HBO ain't concerned about Venture Brothers, man. Just like they're not concerned about one of my favorite shows, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Both
It
of
is
them are
what it
getting a
is.
movie, though.
You said what?
Have you been watching the new Aqua Teen Hunger Force shorts on YouTube?
No. What happened?
I'm gonna have to send that to you later. They decided to come out with. They were doing it daily for a little bit. I don't know if they're still coming out with them, but they're like 5-minute shorts.
Okay.
Having one of like the villains from previous episodes, kind of doing a, new.
Not the aliens.
There's one on the. Well, there's one on the aliens that are in the frat, and then there's one on the dumb aliens. There's one on like MCP pants.
I want candy.
Yeah. The Brood Witch. Yeah, I'll send that to you. It's absolutely fantastic because each one is only about like 5 minutes. Hand Banana makes a return in one of them.
You can't make an episode like that today, but that was so funny in its time.
I want to be called Spaghetti. You're the enforcer.
That was such a funny episode, but it's not funny today. It's still funny today. You just can't make it today.
They did. I'll send you the links. It's fantastic.
Oh wow, okay. So you said they're coming out with a movie?
Yeah, they're coming out with a movie. I don't think there's a release date on it yet. Because they announced that it was Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, and Venture Brothers. We're each getting a straight to DVD movie that would come out on HBO Max as well.
That's awesome. I never got into Metalocalypse. That really wasn't my type of show.
Oh, really? I love that one.
Yeah, Venture Brothers was funny when I watched it. But again, I the only one I kind of watched mostly straight through was kind of like Boondocks and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh, so you weren't like a Squidbillies, 12-ounce mouse?
Squidbillies. Squidbillies was a little too disturbing for me. Hey, come on, let me get on that thing. Don't touch the tram.
Don't touch the tram. I just love that they drew a new hat for him every single episode.
Yeah, man, I remember the one where Santa Claus, they was warned against Santa Claus, and I guess the reindeer was fighting the wolves, and it just got bloody and gory, and I'm like, this is messed up, man. This is a messed up show.
I absolutely agree. But yeah.
All right,
I'm looking
folks.
forward to those 3 movies, though.
For sure. All right, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll be talking about Strange and go more in depth with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Right. Like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you later.